In the heart of the Syrian desert, where wind carves stories into stone and the sun burns gold across endless dunes, stood a city like a mirage, Palmyra. A city of silk and sand, where merchants spoke in a dozen tongues and gold flowed like the Euphrates. Rome called it a jewel in the desert, but that jewel would one day blind the empire itself. For from its walls rose a woman who dared to defy the greatest power on earth. A queen whose name the desert still whispers, Zenobia. The 3rd century after Christ was an age of chaos. Rome's glory, once unshakable, began to crack. Emperors rose and fell within months. Plagues spread through cities. Legions turned their swords against each other. The world's greatest empire was tearing itself apart. And far to the east, in the oasis of Palmyra, opportunity shimmered. The trade routes that carried silk from China, spices from India, and gold from Africa all converged there. Its people were neither Roman nor Persian, but something in between, proud, resourceful, and fiercely independent. Among them was a girl whose destiny would change history. Her name was Septimia Zenobia. Born around the year 240, she was no ordinary child of the desert. Educated in Greek, Latin, and Egyptian, fluent in politics before most learned to write. She claimed descent from Cleopatra, the last queen of Egypt, and believed, perhaps rightly, that she shared her fire. When she was still young, she married Odenathus, ruler of Palmyra. He was ambitious, loyal to Rome, but only as long as Rome was strong. When Persian armies invaded Roman Syria, Odenathus struck back, not as a servant, but as a savior. His victories made him a legend. Rome granted him titles. He ruled much of the East, king of kings. But fate is cruel. In 267, Odenathus was murdered, his killers unknown. The empire expected Palmyra to collapse. Instead, a widow stood up and took the throne, Zenobia, regent for her young son Vaballathus, yet queen in all but name. Her first move wasn't rebellion, it was order. She stabilized trade, secured borders, paid her soldiers, and kept the Roman governors guessing. And as Rome bled itself in civil war, Zenobia began to dream of more than survival. She dreamed of empire. Under Zenobia's rule, Palmyra flourished. Her armies, desert riders, swift as storms, swept through Syria and Egypt, taking cities without Roman permission. In Alexandria, she was hailed as Queen of the East. To her followers, she was brilliant. To Rome, dangerous. She styled her son Augustus, equal to the emperor. Her coins bore her image, wearing the diadem of royalty. This was no longer a protectorate. It was a rival empire. But Zenobia was more than a conqueror. She saw herself as a bridge between worlds. Her court blended Greek philosophy, Arab poetry, and Roman law. Scholars, traders, and warriors gathered in Palmyra's marble halls, an oasis of intellect amid chaos. Yet power draws enemies as surely as the desert draws heat. In the west, a new Roman emperor had risen, Aurelian, the restorer of the world, a man as relentless as the woman he would face. In 272, the sands turned red. Aurelian marched east, vowing to crush the rebellion. At Antioch, his legions clashed with Zenobia's forces. At first, she used cunning, faking retreats, ambushing supply lines. But Rome's discipline held. One by one, her cities fell. At Emesa, her cavalry charged and broke against the Roman wall of shields. Defeated, Zenobia retreated to her capital, Palmyra. There, she gathered her council beneath the towering columns of the Temple of Bel. She refused surrender. "If the gods wish Rome to take me," she said, "they will find me behind my walls." Aurelian encircled the city. Weeks of siege followed. Starvation, desperation. The desert queen, who once ruled half the east, was trapped within her own golden fortress. And then, betrayal. As she tried to flee across the Euphrates to seek Persian aid, she was captured, brought in chains before Aurelian. No one agrees on what happened next. Some say he executed her. Others claim he spared her life, parading her through Rome in golden chains before granting her a villa to live out her days. Perhaps both are true, in different ways. The truth, like the desert wind, shifts with time. Palmyra's rebellion was crushed, its monuments shattered, its people scattered to the sands. Aurelian rebuilt Rome's dominion, but at a cost. The light of the East, that shining oasis, faded into legend. Centuries passed. The desert buried her marble streets, until explorers rediscovered them, sun-bleached bones of an empire that dared to dream. Zenobia's name survived in whispers and songs. To some, a traitor. To others, a hero. To all, a reminder that empires fall, but the spirit that challenges them never dies. And today, when the desert wind sweeps through the ruins of Palmyra, it carries her story still, of courage, ambition, and the will to stand against the impossible. This was Zenobia, the desert queen who defied Rome. You're watching Forgotten Empires. Until next time, remember, history is written by those who survive, but remembered by those who refuse to be forgotten.